A 4 billion parameter open model, matching a frontier model on a real retrieval task at about 100 times less cost per request. That is the claim. Here is how it was done, and why the size of the model was never really the point. The task is retrieval augmented generation. An agent searches a knowledge base, reads results, and answers with citations. Doing that well takes many search turns, not one shot. With a frontier model in the loop, the write-up reports each answer taking over 10 seconds and costing roughly 3 cents end-to-end. At scale, that is slow and expensive for something you run constantly. The bet is simple. A small open weights model is already about 100 times cheaper to run than a closed API model. Out of the box, though, its capability lags behind. So instead of paying for a bigger brain every single request, you pay once, up front, to teach the small model this one job well, and keep the low price forever after. The method is reinforcement learning post-training. First, generate synthetic questions from real data sitting in a Postgres database. Let the 4 billion parameter model search, cite, and answer each one. Then grade it with a reward function on 3 things. Did it retrieve the right passages, cite them correctly, and answer well? Loop that thousands of times, and the model learns to use the search tool, rather than just knowing facts. The reward function is where the learning actually lives. Roughly, it scores whether the model found the right sources, whether its citations are valid, and whether the final answer is correct. Because the model is optimized against exactly this, it learns to search well and ground its claims, instead of learning to sound confident. Shape the reward, and you shape the behavior. One quiet detail. This kind of training is bursty. Thousands of practice attempts run in parallel, and each one fires off dozens of real search calls against the database. That spikes load hard, and then goes quiet. The setup leaned on an auto-scaling database to absorb those bursts, which is a reminder that training a retrieval agent is as much an infrastructure problem as a modeling one. The takeaway is not that frontier models are obsolete. It is that for a narrow, high-volume task, like retrieval, teaching a small model beats renting a big one. The reward function decides what good even means, and once the training is paid for, you keep the much lower price on every request after. Sometimes the cheapest model is the one you taught yourself. AI. Explained simply. Subscribe to BirenAI so you don't miss the next one.